Okay, welcome. You're here for the deep dive, and today we're heading straight onto the court. The NBA playoffs, I mean, they've been absolutely wild, right?
Oh, definitely. Just pure intensity, some really unexpected stuff happening, high stakes all around.
Exactly. So our mission today basically is to sift through some of these recent matchups. We
Yeah.
want to pull out the key moments, the big insights.
Yeah, figure out what really mattered in these games and maybe what it signals moving forward.
All right, so let's lay out the games we're talking about. We've got the Houston Rockets pulling off a kind of surprising win against the Golden State Warriors, 131-116 in Game 5.
Mm-hmm. Pushing that series to game six, Warriors still up 3-2, but definitely an upset feel there.
Then the Minnesota Timberwolves, they finished off the Lakers 103-96 in Game 5. Series done 4-1, pretty dominant.
Yeah, a strong showing by Minnesota. Lakers are out.
And over in the East, the New York Knicks, they battled hard, got a narrow win against the Pistons, 116-113. That was Game 6, so they take the series 4-2.
Right. A close one, but they got it done. Shows some real determination.
For sure. And finally, the LA Clippers. Huge win against the Denver Nuggets, 111-105 in Game 6. That ties things up 3-3.
Yeah, setting up a massive game seven there. Talk about excitement.
Okay, let's dig into that Rockets-Warriors game first. Game 5. Rockets win 131-116. Like we said, kind of an upset. What was different for Houston this time?
Well, it really seemed like their offense finally found some kind of consistent rhythm against that Warriors D.
Yeah, they've had moments before, but this felt sustained.
Exactly, sustained. They weren't just relying on like one guy getting hot. They were attacking the basket more, getting to the line, and seemed like they were getting cleaner looks for their shooters too. It just felt, I don't know, more connected. Like a strategy finally clicked when they absolutely needed it to.
So not just hot shooting, but actual tactical adjustments paying off.
I think so, yeah. It
Like-
felt more deliberate than just luck.
Okay, let's shift to the Timberwolves and Lakers. Minnesota wins Game 5, 103-96, takes the series 4-1. You called it dominant. What made them so effective against LA?
Well, Minnesota's defense was just impressive. All series, really, but definitely in that clinching game.
How so? What were they doing specifically?
They were really physical. They did a great job disrupting the Lakers' pick and roll actions and rebounding too, limiting those second chances.
Right. Controlling the boards is huge.
Huge. And offensively, they seemed balanced, scoring inside, hitting shots from outside. They found mismatches and really seemed to exploit them well. It wasn't just that the Lakers, had an off night. Minnesota really dictated the flow.
Impose their style of play, basically.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. They made the Lakers play their game.
All right, let's talk Knicks Pistons. Game 6, Knicks win a close one, 116-113 to wrap up the series 4-2. Sounds like a real nail biter.
Oh, absolutely. Winning a closeout game, especially on the road, that's always tough. It puts a lot of pressure on you.
For sure. What does that kind of win tell you about this Knicks team?
It really speaks to their resilience, I think, their mental toughness
Yeah.
to execute down the stretch in a game that tight, make the key shots, get the key stops.
Yeah.
It shows they didn't fold under pressure. They withstood that push from Detroit and just made the plays when it counted most. There's a certain grit there.
That playoff grit. You definitely need that. Okay, last one. Clippers and Nuggets. Game 6, Clippers win 111-105, series tied 3-3. Game 7 coming up. What changed for the Clippers to force this decider?
This one's interesting because it felt like a real strategic adjustment on the Clippers' part, especially defensively.
Okay.
They seemed to find ways to contain Denver's main guys better than they had in maybe Game 5. Perhaps it was different double team looks or switching matchups more effectively, just keeping them off balance.
Trying to disrupt their flow.
Yeah, exactly. And then on offense, they likely identified some weaknesses from the previous game and really attacked those. Look, forcing a Game 7 against the defending champs, that's significant. It shows they can adapt.
Absolutely. Sets up a huge Game 7. So, quick recap for you listening. Rockets stay alive, find some offense against the Warriors. Timberwolves look really strong, eliminate the Lakers. Knicks show toughness, close out the Pistons, and the Clippers fight back to force a Game 7 with the Nuggets.
Yeah, quite a mix. You've got like a potential momentum shift with Houston, clear dominance from Minnesota, resilience from New York, and just a flat-out battle between LA and Denver.
So connecting the dots here.
Yeah.
You see these different ways teams are winning. Houston's offense clicking, Minnesota's D, the Knicks grit, the Clippers adapting.
Right. It shows how varied the paths to success can be in the playoffs and how quickly things can change based on matchups and adjustments.
Okay, so here's something for you to chew on. Thinking about these specific outcomes, the Rockets finding that rhythm, the Wolves being so dominant defensively, the Knicks' toughness, the Clippers' adjustments, what does that suggest for the next round?
Hmm.
Like, could we see some more surprises based on these trends? Or maybe one of these teams goes on a dominant run. Think about the momentum, the specific strengths we just talked about.
Yeah, it's a great question. Which of these factors, the offensive explosion, the defensive lockdown, the sheer willpower, the tactical shifts, which ones are most likely to carry over and maybe cause some upsets or define the next series? What do you think is the biggest indicator moving forward?